Is this what God would want? Is this God's desire? Is this aligning to God's, mission for us?
Yeah.
Probably oftentimes the answer is no. And we have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Change plans.
Well, we moved here, I think, in 2015, and just looked around for different churches. Started at one church, and you just get that feeling. I think by the third or fourth church, I was talking to a new friend, because we just moved here, and she said, "Hey, have you checked out Daybreak yet?" I'm like, no. So we checked it out, and the rest is history. We've stayed.
Indeed. So we're both involved in ministry at Daybreak. I'm fortunate enough to be part of the DSM team, specifically supporting the Snack Shack on Sunday evenings, feeding all the hungry kids when they get done with their small groups. And I'm also part of a men's Bible study group that meets on Monday nights.
Yeah, and I'm with Stephen Ministry, one of the leaders, and I get to be a part of their caregivers group.
Boy, God is using Daybreak in a lot of ways, I think, to influence our life. For me personally, I have found God challenging me to surrender and let go. We have a lot of challenges with our son Owen, and Daybreak has been an environment that has forced me to surrender more to God, and not just only with our prayers of healing, but I think with our time and our resources. It has been a place that not only challenges me, but also supports me in that journey of surrender to Him. Yeah. I think the reason we decide to give back to Daybreak is for the simple fact that Daybreak is a family that is constantly giving at every level. We see the heart of our leaders and our pastors. We see the heart of small group leaders. We see the heart of all the folks that are working in the support ministries, and just their sacrificial love really for all the people they're serving, whether they're members of Daybreak or members of the community who may be new to Daybreak or not even be really aware of what Daybreak is all about. And so when we look at the environment that Daybreak creates and the love that they pour out, like, how can you not want to get involved with something like that? And so it makes it a heck of a lot easier to want to give and to want to pour back into a place when really the mission is to serve all God's people. So how is immeasurably more challenging us? The fact that we're here talking about money on video to the church is immeasurably more than I thought I would be willing to do. And not just money, but resources. I think that this is a challenge in and of itself. But personally speaking, I'll talk about resources because this is a topic that's tough for me to discuss openly. Our finances are something that we just don't really ever talk about. And one of the things I mentioned earlier was how God has challenged us to turn over our trust and surrender to Him. And finances was probably the last part for me to start trusting God with. And so there's a verse in Matthew 6:21 that I keep centering myself back to, which is, where your finances are is where your heart also is. And that to me speaks volumes of what God's desire is for us when it comes to our resources. And so this has started challenging us really to reconsider, like, where is our heart, and where are we placing our resources, and it should be reflective of truly where we think our heart is. So this is a challenge and a journey for me and for us. Mm-hmm. But we're as nervous as we are. We're also excited to embark on it.
I mean, it's really a conscious effort. I mean, we struggle. I mean, we can sit here and say what we try to do, but it's a struggle every day. There is Amazon, there is a Starbucks, there is a Chick-fil-A up the road now. I mean, these things that we find fun, and I mean, it's a conscious effort to not do the immediate things, immediate gratitude that you want, and know that, like, what are our goals and what do we want to do, and you know, a lot of it is just letting go. I know you talked about just letting go of what society calls happiness and what to have. And you know, when you start as a young couple and there is very little fun money, as we call it, and you see and you appreciate how much God has worked with you and worked in you and worked through you to the next level, and you get paid more, and you know, you have extra fun money, you can't help but have that mentality of like, well, we earned it, we deserve it, and just redefining what that means as what do we deserve. That's hard. So
yeah. It's not always more for us, right? It's really like, it should be more for God.
Yeah.
But that's a hard battle to fight.
Yeah.
The next 2 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard.
I mean, just talking, you know, we've sat down a lot of times, we've looked at things, and it seems it changes a few things for us. You know, we all make plans, and we are constantly reminded that God has other plans as well. So
we have to learn to be flexible with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think we think about what we want and what we think is the best thing.
Yeah.
But in our conversations realize that's probably not really the best thing. So we have to be flexible with those plans. Yeah. And maybe even flexible with what our idea of happiness looks like down the road.
Yes. I think about you say about the expectation of immeasurably more. What is God gonna do? Shoot, He's been doing so much more every single time we step in the door. You know, I think about, like, we signed up for this and this is what we expect, but there's so much more that we got out of it we didn't even know. So to know that what Diderrich is continuing to do and do more, I'm excited about what He's doing every time we come.
Like, leading up to this, it's been a huge journey for us already, and I think I would say, like, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and really embrace that. And I think once you embrace that mentality, that's when you start turning it over to God. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think you've got control of this, like, that's where the struggle, and I think that's where the walls come up. Mm-hmm. So be okay with just trusting God on this whole thing. It's not easy. It's really hard.